Hey guys!
Let me tell you something. This band put out a new album about a week ago. I did an album review for these guys. It was their it's not their debut album, but it was their debut album with a Rising Empire, which is their new label. So this was one of my favorite songs in the album. And when I did the album review, I mentioned that Witness of Your Sickness was one of my favorite songs on the record. The name of the band is called Snap, by the way. They're from Croatia.
Really?
Yeah, from Croatia, the land that gave us Luka Modric
and Rakitic and all the titches.
Oh, for a minute there, I thought you were going to say all the tits. No, all the people that have their names in with itch.
Yeah.
Itch. Well, not Davor Suker.
No.
But he's before your time. He was one of my favorite strikers growing up. Like, that guy could score goals, like, in his sleep. Like, he would be sleeping and he would be scoring goals. Like, hat tricks and shit. He was amazing. Also, Boban. Boban was amazing, too. Anyways, I've always been a big fan of the Croatian national team. I just want to put that out there. Not because we're doing this video, but I've always been a fan of the way they play. Like, always been a big fan of them. Anyways, so they put out a brand new album. I did the album review. This was one of my favorite songs on the album, and I mentioned that on the album review. They released this brand new video last week for this song, and I thought, you don't know anything about this band, you never heard them. I really like them, and you know, it's not like we do a lot of bands from Croatia, right? So this song is really cool. So I figure, you know what? They have a video. Why not? For me, check out the video because I know the song, but for you, check out the band and the song and the video. So, what do you say?
Let's get into this.
All right, let's do this.
nothing left. I can't erase. I can't take your place. I can't change your face. When there's nothing left, I can't
I'll let you go first. The message, but let me just say this before you go. The message in this song. Then, anyways, go ahead.
Oh, I love their. It's two
Leads, two vocalists, yes.
And both of them, they complement each other so well. Because one of them has the screaming vocals, and the other one has the more darker kind of vocals.
It's still like melodic.
Really. Yeah, it's so good, and I love that. Like it finished off with the
with that melody, that guitar melody. Now, what did you think about the message in the video?
I mean, it showed a bunch of kids. I saw like Bernard. There was like two. Luca, and a couple.
Speaking of Luka Modric,
and it said their age, and it said how many like surgeries they had. That was dark.
First of all, I agree with everything you said. I actually, one of the things that I mentioned on my album review was how I really enjoyed the dynamic between the two lead singers. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first album where they had those two lead singers. Before there was only one lead singer. This is the first album that they actually done it with the two different singers. And I thought part of my review, which you guys can check in what corner they can check.
That one.
Right there. They can check there. I said that the album really gained a lot of life and dynamic for the fact that you have two different sets of vocals coming in. I really enjoyed that. That was one of the things I really enjoyed about this album. The other thing that I really enjoyed about the album and this song, because I rated this song as one of my favorites on the album. And I did that before even knowing that the band was going to release a video and all of that stuff. But I said that the album is as this song is, it's pretty much a lot about like introspect and inner feelings and how you deal with certain things that you go through your life, loss, sense of despair, things that you can't control that are out of your control. As a father, I totally feel this message. I mean, two things that I take from this song. And this song, I remember when I broke down, when I do an album review, I pick 3 favorite songs and then I break down those 3 songs. And what I felt when I heard this song was the sense of you seeing somebody and spending time with somebody that you love that is sick. And you would give anything to be able to take their place and take their pain away, but you can't, and you're just a witness to their sickness. You're just there to see them being sick and seeing them being helpless, and you're just there for that journey. And it's a really difficult journey because you try to be strong for them, but there's not much you can do besides being there for them because you feel there's a sense of helplessness. Now, I really connected to this song, and more so now watching the video because they actually put kids there who've gone through heart surgeries. You know, like there was one kid that didn't have a leg.
There was one that said girl. I think it was a girl who
brain surgery.
5.
Yeah, I mean, here I am always complaining about the fact that I'm 40 years old, my back hurts, I'm getting old, and all of this stuff. And look at these kids, and I'm sure they still have the strength to get up every day and try to do something. So it really puts things in perspective on how blessed our lives really are, because there's a lot of people out there that have a much harder day-to-day, never mind life, day-to-day, than we could ever imagine that we could ever go through. Now, you don't know this because you were little. When you were born, you were born with asthma, and we didn't know you had asthma until you were about 2 years old. So for the first 2 years of your life, we spent a lot of days in the hospital with you. Almost every other weekend, we would have to take you as a baby to the hospital because you would vomit constantly. You would have fevers and you would vomit. Because every time you would get a cold, your asthma would act up and you would vomit and be really sick, and we didn't know what was wrong with you. So for the first 2 years, we spent a lot of time in the hospital. And I remember as a dad looking at you as a baby and saying, man, like, let me be sick, but let him be okay, because, you know, it's so hard for you to see somebody in that position and you not being able to do anything about it. You know, you would give anything to be able to take their place so that they don't have to suffer, and you would take that punishment and you take that suffering. So this song to me, from the moment I heard it on the record, I felt very close to it because I had that personal experience in my life that I had gone through it. So I really connected with it, and I overall connected with the album because the album is it's completely filled with songs that are about you dealing with those kind of emotions and those kind of feelings. So I personally connected with the album, and I personally connected with the song. So watching the video, not really knowing what to expect from it, the fact that they incorporated that, which it really plays with the message of the song, I thought was incredible. And
adding the kids,
it makes it very, it's a very hard to digest song because you see the kids, you see people. It's not like, you know, they're real people with real issues, with real surgeries, with parents that suffer for them. And I'm sure sometimes the kids are stronger than the parents because they don't want to see their own parents suffer, so they put on a strong face so that the parents don't suffer. It's a very weird dynamic. Like I said, I've gone through it to a certain degree, not to this extent, obviously. Thank God. But
adding the kids kind of to the video and seeing kind of what happened to them, what their ages.
It just brings everything closer to me. Now, on a lighter note, I saw them there with a pony. Funny enough, when I was a kid, I didn't want a pony. I wanted a goat.
Really?
Yeah, man. I used to bother my parents all the time to buy me a goat. I wanted a goat so badly. Now, don't ask me why. I mean, that's like the most random thing. Why would I want a goat? I never asked my parents for a pony, a horse, nothing. I wanted a goat, and I never got a goat. So.
Well, for 100,000 subscribers, we'll buy you a goat.
Where are we going to put a goat? In the house? Are you kidding me? Like, back in Portugal, okay, maybe I could have a goat somewhere in the garage or something. I had a chicken, but then we ended up eating it when it grew up.
Yeah.
That's a story that we need to share one day of how we ate my pet. One day I come home from school and it's like, hey, where's my pet chicken? And my mother's like, you know, there comes a time in everyone's life where they outgrow their surroundings and we have to, you know, do something else. What do you mean? Well, we have chicken for lunch. Today is chicken soup. And then I remember kind of feeling sad while eating the chicken soup.
Like crying?
Like you know, like crying and eating the chicken leg and not crying, but feeling really sad. And then I saw an episode of The Simpsons where he boils his pet lobster by accident and he's eating it. And he's like, you would want me to be the one eating it, you know, and he's crying. And I was like, holy shit, that happened to me, but not with a lobster, with a chicken.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm trying to make things a little bit more lighthearted because this video is so heavy, so sad. Anyways, the song itself is absolutely epic.
Yeah.
The breakdowns, the guitar riffs, the melody, that melody that you mentioned, the two vocalists. This is a really great band. I think they're really going to go places. They're really good. The album is really good. I really enjoyed the album. I highly recommend anybody watching this video still at this point to go out and check out these guys. They're really good. They have a really cool album full of songs that you're going to find. It's going to be very hard for anybody listening to this album not find a song they can relate to of a personal experience that you've gone through. So I highly recommend people checking it out. Anyways, this is it for this day, but there will be more videos tomorrow for your viewing pleasure. So come back tomorrow. See you guys.
See ya.